Hey everybody, it's Steve with Real Progressives. A little bit earlier than normal here lately. Tonight is going to be about focus. Tonight's live stream is going to be about focus. And it's going to be specific, not to the issue, but specific to the behavior. And specific to how absolutely daunting it is to maintain your focus with people who are chasing squirrels all over the place. I couldn't figure out why I was feeling depressed earlier. It was really like right here in the chest area. It was like, God damn, this sucks. I want to be done. I don't want to do this anymore. I started really feeling like I don't want to do this anymore. Like I'm done. I don't want to do it. Like literally I had this moment where it was just like, I'm done. I don't care. I'm not doing it anymore. I don't want to do this shit anymore. And I'm a problem solver. I'm a solution guy, you know. So I started digging and probing, trying to figure out what it was that was making me want to quit, like for real quit, like walk away from this quote-unquote movement, walk away from activism, walk away from politics, walk away from doing Real Progressives, walk away from whatever, right? And I realized the heaviest burden a person can carry, I promise you this, you don't have to believe me, you can try and figure it out for yourself. Try and do what I'm talking about and see if you understand. The most difficult thing in the world is to be the one person that's focused and have everybody tugging at you to make you pay attention to the noise out here. It is such an unbelievably oppressive feeling. It is an unbearable weight at times. See, the thing that we chose to get involved in, which is why we have a following at all, is a subject you don't hear Tim Black talk about. It's a subject you don't really hear Lee Camp meaningfully talk about. It's a subject you definitely don't hear Jimmy Dore meaningfully talk about. It's a subject that all your favorites, and they are your favorites, they're the ones you go to and you like to listen to them. They don't bother talking to you about economics. I mean, they do. They bring in their pet people and stuff like that, and they say really cool, you know, bumper sticker things, but they're all over the place. They aren't focused. They aren't dialed in. So they're not going to achieve anything. They're just entertainment for you, right? It's just entertainment. I don't need to be entertained. There's a million things I could do to be entertained. I could read a book, I could play with my kids, I could do any number of things. I do this because I believe in it, and I know goddamn well that if I don't stay focused, that nothing will happen. And there's many people fighting this. It's incredible. It's an increasing number of people that are literally starting to realize that macroeconomics is the single most important issue of them all. And if that offends somebody, I don't have time to placate you. I really don't. I've got to tell you straight up, macroeconomics is simply the most important subject of our time. Because we've been lied to for so long that to change it requires an insane amount of focus. Dialed in focus. And repeatedly. And I mean, the pushback that we get is the same pushback over and over again. Somebody comes up with it as if they didn't hear it before. And if you didn't cut and paste your answers from the last 48,000 people that had the same objection, so you can just slam it back in there, you got to sit there with your phone and type it all over again. Or, because you've done this 7 billion times, you've got to take a link, which people bellyache because they don't want links. They're not going to read it. They didn't know it before. They're not going to read it now. They don't want to read it. They don't care. They don't want to hear about it. But they're very, very interested in yelling and screaming about Donald Trump, and these bullshit fake economics, these like things people say at the bar stool, right? Can't act on it, can't change the world with it, can't do anything with it, but that's what they're okay with talking about. And they want to stay stuck right there. They don't want you to deviate, and they want you to take them very, very seriously. They want you to take the nonsense very, very seriously. And they want you to treat you as, they want to be equals. They want to be seen as equals on the subject matter. And they want to talk as if I haven't had that exact conversation 4 billion times. Like, I've never heard the word Weimar Republic. I've never heard the word inflation. I've never heard the word gold standard. I've never heard about the bankruptcy of 1934 or this. Oh, and all the Roth. I've never heard it. I never heard of the creature of Jekyll Isle. Oh my God, but only. And they say it as if you've never, ever heard it before. But then, as soon as the headlines of the newspaper come up, they're moving here, they're moving there. Squirrel. It's just squirrel. It's just squirrel. Over and over again. And then, as if that's not bad enough, as if that's not the worst thing you've ever heard of, by the way, day in, day out, 7 days a week, round the clock, okay? As if that's not bad enough. Then you get the guys coming through that are going to tone police you. They're going to try and tell you how to better say what you do 7 days a week, but they just decided to pop into your world and kind of let you know how it should be, and then pop out and go chasing headlines again. Chasing Trump's latest tweets. Okay? They want to sit there and mouth off. They don't do any work. You can look and you can see how little they do to do anything to actually benefit society. They don't share. They don't do anything. They don't even do the reading. But there they are to critique, to offer their critique. I don't have a lot of respect for that. That's just me. Maybe you do. Maybe that's something you feel is valuable. As for me, I'm thinking to myself, at some point in time, when you're bitching and moaning about debt and deficits, when you're bitching and moaning about the GOP cutting all your services, and you want to just talk shit about the GOP, God damn that Donald Trump, damn it, ah, oh, damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it. If that's your idea of useful behavior, if that's your idea of doing anything useful at all, we got a very different opinion. An extremely different opinion. And so keeping focused on saving lives, literally saving lives, getting rid of all the noise, getting rid of all the daily headlines and all the gibberish that is thrown at you. It takes more energy, more BTUs you burn, trying to just fend off noise and stay focused. What do you think would happen, hypothetically, if we as a movement stopped saying really ridiculous things about economics and started doing the tough work, the hard work, and stop being partisan Democrats running around, vote blue, yay blue, blue wave, blue this, or green, yes, green, green, green. Imagine for a moment if instead of just celebrating sheephood, instead of celebrating being a good sheep, celebrate knowing the answers. Celebrate learning the answers to defeating the enemy. Celebrate defeating neoliberalism. celebrate fighting against neoliberalism. But they can't do it. Man, oh man, Donald Trump said this. We gotta impeach him, my God! Impeach him! That's an acceptable anger, by the way. In the tone police world, it's completely and utterly acceptable to bellyache about the Trump humpers. You know, the Trump humpers. And all the other gun huggers. It's okay. It is perfectly legitimate to be angry and yell at the God, grit your teeth and scream and yell and get angry as hell at the Trumpers, at the gun huggers, and all the rest of it. But damn it, if anybody gets angry because people don't understand economics, well, I'm going to have to tell you, I don't like your tone. I don't like your tone. It's very off-putting. Fuck Trump! Yeah, goddamn fuck Trump! But your tone on economics, Steve, it's off-putting. I'm sorry. Goddamn Cheetolini! Blah, 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 fucking blah, 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 blah. But, Steve, your tone on Donald Trump and your tone on economics is just, you know, it's just harsh. You gotta tone it down a little bit, you know? Fuck Trump, man! Fuck that motherfucker! Yeah, man, what do you... Blah, blah. Steve, can you please stop talking about the people dying? Can you please stop talking about those people dying from budget cuts? Can you please stop talking about that homeless guy that was freezing in the loading dock that died and was getting his pockets rifled through by another homeless guy desperate to survive? Because it's just a little bit abrasive, Steve. And, you know, that's not how we do things in our party. In our party, we sing Kumbaya, unless it's about a fucking Trump! Trump, fucking mother, Trump! But you, Steve, with that economic stuff, you know, it's just so, it's just abrasive. It's you know, you're putting people off with that, you know? They're getting really, but fuck Trump! God damn, these redneck, blah, 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 these neo-Nazi sons of bitches, blah, 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 blah. Well, but you know, when you talk about neoliberalism, Steve, it really bothers me because, you know, I think your tone, I think there's probably a better way for you to say that. Say, fuck Trump, son of a bitch, it's going to be nuclear war everywhere, goddamn crazy, fuck the duopoly, we got a demic, we got a... Steve, can you do me a favor, dude? When you talk about economics, it just... When you call people murderers by proxy, it really bothers people, you know? I think that you really need to say it differently, Steve. Fuck Trump! But, you know, it's just... You know, you catch more flies with honey, Steve, you know? You know, I think maybe you need to, like, just find a different way. Don't say it's absolute truth, because if you say it's absolute truth, then people are going to be off-put because they want their feelings heard, and they want your feelings, and they want everybody's feelings heard, and... Fuck Trump, goddamn, he's going to start nuclear war, he's crazy, son of a bitch! Well, you know, hey, but Steve, do me a favor, please, I'm begging you, okay? Please. You're really rude with that. You trigger me. It's like toxic white male, whatever, cis white male, blah, 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 blah. When you talk about economics, it just bothers me. Fuck Trump! Do you get the point? I've had it up to my gills with the fuck Trump crew that can't handle being popped in the mouth a little bit about really bad economics. Okay? Really, really bad economics. Love will win. Fuck Trump! Fuck these gun huggers. Oh my God! But love will win the day. We just gotta embrace love in our hearts. Fuck Trump! But we gotta love one another. Because, you know, you catch more flies with honey, Steve. You just gotta work on your tone. You're making it really hard because when we talk in our party, they don't really like being yelled at. Fuck Trump! But Steve, you just got to really tone down, okay? Do me a favor, just tone down. So the easily distracted get deeply offended by the highly focused. The easily distracted get very, very offended by the highly focused. You're out-focusing them, and that means you might know more than them, which means that they feel less than, which means they've naturally got to push the subject away so that they can stay in their zone where they know everything. And you know what they know about? Fuck Trump! That's what they know. That's it. I mean, think about it. Do you want to go to war? Even if it's just a mental, cerebral war? With people so frail and fragile that the only thing they can do is go, fuck Trump! But they can't actually sit there and talk about the death and destruction of raising taxes to pay for Medicare for all, or raising taxes to fix green energy, when in reality we need to lower taxes so we can get buy-in way wide, way across, so that we win. Okay? We would like to have green energy. We want to live on a planet that is sustainable. They over there think that this is just another liberal ploy to take over. So they fight it tooth and nail because they think you're going to raise their taxes. But naturally, we want our give up strategy intact. So we want to raise taxes. We know it'll fail because we know the Norquist pledge is right there waiting for us. And fuck Trump! But then we go to pass that bill, and guess what? It fails. And then we have a last-minute negotiation, and instead of having single-payer health care, we end up with the ACA. Fuck Trump! Right? So, as I sit there and I try and explain how we can win, and hearing all the chatter diverting every which way but loose, all over the place. Oh my God, did you see what Trump did? Oh my God, he's talking to Kim Jong-un, whatever. Oh my God, he is really bringing down the presidency. Fuck Trump! Mind your manners, Steve. Will you please use a different tone? I'm sorry, Steve, but your tone when you're fighting for kids with autism and trying to get them funding, and when you're talking about trying to raise awareness about how our infrastructure is falling woefully behind the Chinese and that we have the resources to make America truly great, the people want you to shut, fuck Trump! But, Steve, this idea, you're just way too fringe. You're too extreme here, You're talking about stuff like health care for all and getting rid of student debt and, green energy. Fuck Trump! And, it violates my inner spirit. I'm just such a peaceful person. And it's all about the spirit. It's all about love. And, and when you talk about the death and destruction of neoliberalism, I just get, so fuck Trump! So, I'm sorry, Steve. I stopped watching that madman a while ago, Steve Grumbine. Steve Grumbine's really rude. He's rude and stuff, especially when he talks about the dangers of a balanced budget amendment. My God, he is so rude. And when he talks about the Federal Reserve and he doesn't say end it, I get triggered. It triggers me when he knows more about the Federal Reserve than I do. And that makes me mad. Fuck Trump! But you know what? Steve, if you would just tone it down. If you just tone it down. Maybe if you registered and you became a Green Party person, we would listen to you better. But we in the Greens, we don't do that. We don't take well to being yelled at or something. Fuck Trump! The duopoly's got to go down. Don't vote for that warmongering whore of a party. You mother. But Steve, your tone. You need to understand your tone. Your tone really, I don't know, it's kind of affecting my my spiritual equilibrium, you know? So imagine for a moment, waking up at 5 a.m., thinking how you can get this message out, the same message, because people are just defiantly resistant to facts, okay? 5 a.m., you start thinking how we're going to do today. And you go to work and you're thinking in between meetings and you're walking down the hall, you're on the can thinking about how you're getting this message out. You're making phone calls at your lunch break. You're making phone calls on your ride home. You get home, you're bouncing your kid on your knee, you're doing your therapy with him because he's got autism, and and you've got all the people out there, well, he's drinking, fuck Trump! But then, as you lay your autistic son to bed, and then you're right back to it and doing a live stream, and you're doing all these things, and you realize at the end of the day, it's not good enough to chip away at this thing. Because here's the deal. We're so underwater, and you don't even realize it because you're so used to being underwater. The Democrats, the Greens, whoever, they'll go ahead and they'll fight for some bullshit fight that literally doesn't help enough people to make it worth fighting for. And the water line, you're drowning. You've heard me say this before if you've followed me any length of time. These folks, they think they've done God's will, and they've lowered the water line down to here. And you can squint over the water lines like, I think I see, but I'm still drowning. You fuck Trump! This is exactly what I can't take. How do you expect me to be excited when I know full well we could have a national health service? Forget Medicare for all. We could have a national health service. No insurance companies whatsoever. Walk in and get treated, and we could afford it like that. No problem. But yet we're going to be excited because some new neoliberal think tank comes out with some fake-ass Medicare expansion that is sucky as hell. But they're already starting to try to spin the neoliberal web. How do you get excited about that? How do you get excited to say, vote blue? I mean, it's like, if you remember Napoleon Dynamite, do y'all remember Napoleon Dynamite? Do you remember Summer Wheatley? She's about as revolutionary as most of these people are. Vote Summer. It'll always be sunny at summer. That is about as revolutionary as many of these vote blue folks are. You try and explain to them that federal taxes literally do not fund spending, and you're costing us the chance to win this bill because you're going to get shot down not only by the worthless corporatist Democrats, but the other shitbirds on the other side of the aisle who have signed the Norquist Pledge. You're not getting a tax hike, which isn't needed anyway, for your program. So when you push it, and surely you'll include it, you will include it because you are a vote blue sycophant, and that's what vote blue sycophants do. You will include tax hikes to pay for things that don't need paying for because they're keystroked into existence. And it will fail. And invariably, it will return. That damn Trump did it. Guys, we need a big blue wave. We're going to take over, man. We need a big blue wave. We need a green wave. We need a wave because we got to overcome the bourgeoisie. We got to overcome, fuck Trump. We got to overcome that guy over there because they blocked our program. When the answer is they weren't going to raise taxes, period. They'll get primaried. They will lose everything. And there's no fucking reason to raise taxes. None. Zero. Zip, zero, zilch. Because taxes don't actually pay for shit. They're used as a tool for the economy to keep it from overheating. to drive the currency. So we need that instead of being able to have gold nuggets and cow teeth and friggin' frog legs and chicken necks and frickin' shit coin and all the other stuff. Okay? You tax to drive your monopoly power of your currency. That's why you tax. You don't do it so you can raise revenue to pay for things, because the big bad United States that can patrol the universe has millions and millions of tanks and planes and this and bombs. They are so broke, they don't have enough money to put a couple billion toward the people. Don't you know? That's why we Democrats have to raise taxes to pay for stuff, because we're broke. We don't have any money. We got to reduce the deficit. And I wouldn't vote Baraka Ventura 2020, because until I know Baraka has embraced modern monetary theory, as much as I love the man, and I do love him, until he has embraced it, he isn't going to do anything for us. Unfortunately, he still believes the old neoliberal economics. And I need to see more from him. And he knows better. We've talked. We've talked several times, and I really, really, really like Ajamu. And I really, really, really want to see him get this down, because he's a very, very good man. But he is very, very wrong on most of his economics right now. So no, I'm not going to run off with Jesse the Body Ventura, who thinks the Federal Reserve is run by the Jews and all the other stuff, and the Rothschilds and all the other crazy nonsense. Sorry, no Jesse the Body of freaking conspiracy land. No. Ixnay, no way. Hell no. Let me say it again. Hell to the no. No fucking way. But the flip side, you already see every single day somebody is coming up with some new thing. Some new thing to focus on, and everybody goes like if you ever watch birds in the air, they swarm, or watch those little fish in the documentaries, how they go. That's the movement. And staying focused, not getting distracted, because otherwise no one's going to talk about this consistently to the point where it changes how you see economics. Because right now, everything you claim to want, from getting rid of student debt to taking care of the elderly and expanding their COLA, the cost of living increases that never happened for Social Security, expanding it for your basic income, things like that, a federal job guarantee to eradicate involuntary unemployment, Medicare for all, okay, because we've lacked vision, and a host of other things like infrastructure, high-speed rail, friggin' solar farms, whatever, paying to retrofit every smokestack in America, ending poverty, fixing the water pipes, all this stuff, bailing out Puerto Rico, for God's sake, who we've probably all forgotten about because it's not in the daily current event news that keeps you shiny objects going back and forth. Staying focused is a burden. It's like carrying a 5,000-pound bag on your back that you can't get rid of, because you know if you get rid of it, the squirrels will have everybody bouncing left, right, and center. And even though you may not be successful, and I'm telling you right now, this is where my struggle lies. I may never be successful, although I have had a hand in bringing quite a few people into understanding MMT, is not enough. Is nowhere near enough. And because of that, we're never going to see the kind of progress we need to see. And so I ask you, is this progress? Is this progress? If I can't breathe, if I'm still sucking water in, and I'm going to die regardless, are you going to celebrate this kind of progress? It may as well be up here. It may as well be right here. The water line may as well be right here if I can't breathe. I don't care if you lower it down here and let me see my own death. If you can't bring the water line down to where it's meaningfully down so I can breathe and not suffer drowning because of the bullshit, then it's no good. You've done nothing. You've achieved nothing. And the reason why we won't achieve anything is because fuck Trump! Squirrel! Squirrel! Fucking squirrel! That right there, to me, really, really bothers me greatly, because you look around and you say, what if I wanted to play the role of an African American? I have no idea what it would be like to be one, but I'm going to take a stab at it. I want reparations. I want to make sure that the people that have been left behind and have been abused for centuries are made whole. And I know that economics is but one part of that. And there's a lot of other things too when you're not used to having your needs met that you've got to fix too. It's not just a financial fix. So what else would help get reparations done? Well, you know you're going to need people on both sides of the aisle to vote for this. It's not just going to be Greens over here, because there are not any of them in the Congress. There's none of them in the Senate right now. So that means you got to convince those duopoly people you don't want to talk to, you know? That means you got to work on them too. You can't just forget about them and let everybody fucking die while you wait for 30 years for you to get your party off the ground. You still got to deal with what is. You still got to deal with legislation. So how do you get reparations through? You know modern monetary theory. Because MMT shows us that we don't have to make someone less whole to make someone else whole. We can satisfy reparations. We can do this. And on top of it, we can provide the services needed to take those people that have been in generational poverty and give them the tools that will help them take the reparations, which is presumably a payment of some sort, and be able to maximize out so that they can survive and thrive, given that they maybe were never given the tools to do it to begin with. You start looking at this holistically, and then when you hear people go, fuck Trump, and you hear them ignoring the economics that would make reparations possible, you say, fuck you, right? That's where you get. And then, my favorite, the environmentalists. How many of you out there, right? Steve, the environment is the most important. And when you talk about economics, it really triggers me. It makes me feel angry. There's more important things to talk about than economics, Steve. Like, what about if we don't, you can't eat the planet, you can't eat money. You hear these stupid lines? Worthless lines. Worthless lines. Because you can't get green energy, baby, without money, so you can get it out there. Oh, but we'll have a resource. Well, you do let me know when the Republicans support your resource-based economy, much less the centrist Democrats. You do let me know, because I'll be right there winking and saying, oh, fuck Trump! I'll do that when you're trying to get there. I'll distract everybody. Fuck Trump! Right? No. Your resource-based economy isn't happening right now. So we got to deal with what is. And that means you've got a monetary economy. Sorry, deal with it. That's reality. We have a monetary economy. So can you do this with a 55% military? Anyway. The military is our employer of last resort right now. The military is also the place where when we're nearing a recession, the government just pumps money into it to buy tanks, bombs, whatever, because it keeps the economy going. And guess what? The military is sacrosanct, so nobody wants to cut it. And even the people that do want to cut it don't realize that cutting it is a political, not an economic decision. Because you still need to repurpose that money. Because if you cut that money out of your spending, you will have a recession and a depression of such severity that you won't know what to do with yourself. And there's a part of me for the people that can't be concerned with learning economics, that almost wants to give them a 15-minute glimpse of life in that level of depravity when a recession or depression hits, and watch them, study them, just watch the facial expressions as the pain whips up on them. And say, okay, now you ready to focus? Hey, eyes up here. You ready to focus? Okay, come on, join the army. Let's get this thing done. So we're not indentured servants to the military-industrial complex. What we are is indentured servants to our own ignorance. If we understood economics, we would force a federal job guarantee. And what a federal job guarantee is, it would be putting us to work in our local communities, making the public purpose again. Not sitting there making money for the man. Oh, you know, robots and automation are going to do it. No. You're going to serve your local communities. How many of you have driven through your local communities and thought, my God, look at that rundown building. Oh my God, look at that rundown park. If they just had enough money, we could make that park beautiful and the kids would enjoy playing there, wouldn't they? What's all this trash doing in the yard? Oh my God, if those people wouldn't have thrown it out there, let's clean it up. Let's go ahead and provide elderly care in our communities. Let's go ahead and provide free child care. Let's go ahead and make sure every kid gets physical education in school every day of the week and music class every day of the week instead of cutting corners. But no, the robots are coming. Let's get diverted. Let's get diversionary. You know, let's get, fuck Trump! You know, let's get diverted. The reality, you got a federal job guarantee, federally funded, locally administered. The end of involuntary unemployment is a thing of the past. Doesn't matter how much automation is there. It doesn't, hear me, it doesn't effing matter how much automation is there. You're serving the public purpose. And as jobs shrink away, people will roll onto the buffer stock of the job guarantee. And as the job market sweetens, people roll off the job guarantee and into private work if they'd like. Into co-ops. Co-ops, baby. Right? Whatever. The point is, unless you get away from distractions, none of it is happening. How many of you know about the Pete Peterson Foundation and Fix the Debt? The Pete Peterson Foundation is a think tank that literally goes and has everyone in their back pocket. They're pushing for balanced budget amendments. They're pushing for reducing deficits and eliminating the debt and all this other stuff. It's all economically illiterate. But they are infiltrating progressive movements. They're infiltrating every one of them. There's no one out there that's not been penetrated by the Pete Peterson Foundation. And so who is focused enough to beat back these right-wing hacks, these economically illiterate people that have millions upon millions upon millions of dollars to destroy our lives and make the rich richer and make the poor poorer? To eliminate the ability to adjust to downturns in the economy because they don't understand that the debt is nothing more than savings accounts with existing U.S. dollars. When you understand, you stop worrying about your stupid inflation and you start worrying about saving lives. You say you care about this stuff, but your actions betray you. Your actions betray you. Your actions show people that are checking out the headlines, and you can't be held back. You just got to express yourself and run off and chase every shiny object that comes your way. It's like Fido. Fuck Trump! You know? If you want anything to happen, it's going to require you to start zeroing in and start focusing your efforts. Because our enemy, well-funded. My God, if you only knew. Go look up how much money the Pete Peterson Foundation has. They are your enemy. They are literally the killers of any progressive agenda. Go look how much money the Pete Peterson Foundation has. Start realizing these people that are talking about the government's going to go broke, man, we need to raise taxes. Realize these people are not helping you at all. When I say not helping you at all, folks, I'm talking about they are literally not they're helping you into the grave. They're blocking green energy. They're blocking health care. They're blocking education. They're blocking student debt relief. They're blocking infrastructure. They're blocking paid family and medical leave. They are literally blocking the entirety of a progressive agenda. And they say they're a progressive. Because you know what? It's okay to pretend like they're fighting and fail than to actually know the truth, break a few eggs while they're making their omelet, and pass meaningful legislation. You getting excited about 2018 and the blue wave you're going to usher into Congress? Your blue wave? Your fucking Justice Democrats? Your brand new Congress? All these individuals? When we see the candidates that they're sponsoring and we look at their economics, they're awful. Awful. Fuck Trump. Awful. They want you to fuck Trump. They want you to focus on that so you don't pay attention to their neoliberal economics. They don't want you to understand this stuff, because if you do, then you'll be able to say, wait a minute, hold on, this is not adding up. How do we come up with $700 billion for the military, but we can't come up with money for new schools and replace the friggin' old friggin' lead floors of crappy molded tiles that are in these schools that look like jails? You mean we can't fix them, but we got $700+ billion for the military again when we're already 5 million times the largest army other than us? Are you fucking nuts? What are you talking about? If you understood economics and you really cared, you'd know already it's bullshit. You wouldn't worry about it because you'd focus. You wouldn't allow that bullshit to distract you. You'd focus. You would focus. You wouldn't allow the anti-Semites out there who are always talking about the Jews and the Federal Reserve and all the other shit. You know, let me tell you something. There is no fractional reserve system. Banks do not lend reserves. Reserves stay in the banking system and they clear payments. That's it. They aren't lent to people. They never leave the banking system. There is no fractional reserve system. 1934, when the original gold standard ended, this fractional reserve system ended as well. 1934. So why do you think people want to build a party platform about ending the non-existent fractional reserve? Ask yourself that question. Why do they want to sideline an entire movement with bullshit? Why would they want to do something so worthless? So energy sapping, so utterly devoid of value. Why would they want to do that? Why would they want to do something so stupid? Doesn't exist. So what are you ending? Questions we need answers to, right? No, I don't care. Focus. When you're marching down the street in one of these rallies, right? Now, I don't know about you, but when I get on the treadmill, I burn off some energy, man. I'm good to go. I come home, I drink some water or whatever and go to bed. But when you go to marches and stuff like that, what it does is it bleeds away your resolve, or you get sidetracked on bullshit. A march, these protests, direct action, should all be tied together in escalating demands, and it should be sustained. It should not be a one-time, hey, let's go to a concert and wear a pink pussy hat. Oh, don't you critique that, man. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. No, I'm gonna, because I'm telling you right now, if you can get millions of people to the mall to go hear some people in a concert and wear their pink pussy hats, you can have somebody up on that stage teaching them proper economics so that these people, a captive audience dying to hear Katy Perry suddenly, get to hear how federal financing works in between. Fuck Trump! Right? Something useful. Well, we want to see Trump's tax returns. Well, of course you do, Felix. And maybe there's good, valid reasons for that. Maybe there is. Maybe there's not. But to me, it's just another wild goose chase, keeping a movement from uniting and pushing towards demanding a new deal. Towards demanding a new deal. The only marches I would think we would see, because think about this, right? When you understand economics, you understand that we can employ, through the federal job guarantee, every single dreamer that doesn't have a job, so that there's no issue of these, well, they're taking our jobs. Fuck you, man. We got plenty of jobs. And they're on tap and they're on demand. And they get great benefits. Oh, okay. Okay. See? Boom. Economics solved that problem as well, because that problem is founded in the erroneous belief that we don't have enough resources for all these damn foreigners. The foreigners, we don't have enough resources for them. They're taking our jobs and they're taking our women. They're taking our women, Steve. Damn it, they're coming and taking our women. Economics is what it comes down to. The environment. It's not about, why aren't we going to green energy? Because, well, we can't afford to do it. Why not? Corporations still think they're going to make good money. Okay. Well, there's real people, your family members, your aunt and uncle, your neighbor down the street that probably works for these places, right? I want to survive. I want the planet to be here in a habitable fashion. A sustained, habitable fashion. So I am cool as hell providing funds for corporations to transition away from this into this, instead of making it all about penalties, where everybody hates each other because penalties are like the cop pulling you over for a broken taillight. Guys, let's talk about how we can make you a good corporate citizen. These are rules that we're putting in place. For the next 3 years, we will provide assistance to ensure that you guys can adopt this green energy, because it's more important to us that we survive as a species and shit than it is for us to get revenge. Revenge! Fuck Trump! You know what I mean? This is what we, as a movement, need to get to. Otherwise, it's just back to being in the river. The rapids are forming. The water line's up to here. And a bunch of vote blues running around having a good meet and greet that think they're all pals and having a good time. Oh, yay, we fought. We got an extra 50 cents the raise. Yay, us. The guy's still drowning. He's still dying. But damn it, if we didn't get him a nickel on his paycheck. Yay, us. This is of the utmost importance. This is fuck or walk. Shit or hit the bricks. ABC, always be closing. And we've got to be closing. Focus. Driven focus. Because that's what the enemy is. The enemy is committed. The enemy is organized. They're not bitching about, well, you're authoritarian and stuff. I can't follow. It's toxic. You can't do it. No, they are united. They are organized, and they are getting shit done, and they're kicking our ass every single day. Every single day they're kicking our ass. Yes, I love it. That is great. Solar panels on every house. And imagine this. We could afford to build solar roadways. We could afford to put solar panels on every single roof of every single government building, every single parking garage, you name it. We could do this. We could do this. Why aren't we? Because we still think we're broke. We still think the nation that can police the globe, that can come up with $700 billion out of their ass without raising a nickel, of taxes, we still think that same country is broke and dying of debt. So we can't possibly do great things. While China is busy building out roadways across their great nation, they are investing in incredible infrastructure. China is about to be the cream of the crop, the dreamland, the real shining light on the hill. Because you know what? They're getting shit done. Unfortunately, they've got a guy who's going to be a ruler for life now. But it seems like he's actually getting shit done, unlike in the U.S., where we're too busy chasing after squirrels. We're busy chasing after squirrels. And we're patting ourselves on the back as people die still. They're still dying, but we are so, our arms are almost fatigued from how much we pat ourselves on the back. It's like, Jesus, man, I got tennis elbow from patting myself on the back for all this nothingness I got done. But damn it, we united. Vote blue. Dem enter. Green enter. Don't vote for that. Fuck Trump! So anyway, with that, focus is the hardest thing to get with noise all around you. And I'm here to tell you, if we all shared in the burden, be real socialists and share in the burden of staying focused, we wouldn't have to worry about this, because we would have already each one teach one, and we would already be winning. We would already be kicking ass, and we would literally be taking over, because we outnumber them big time. But they are so much more organized, and they don't cry, he's always a tyrant, he's always demanding, he's so focused, he's mean. Fuck Trump! Get it? All right. Sunday night, I'm going to have John Loritz. You guys know John. John is a writer extraordinaire. John will be joining me Sunday night, and he will be talking about socialism, his journey in understanding modern monetary theory, and how we can convey this message better to socialists who seem resistant from the jump based on faulty assumptions. I'm Steve Grumbine with Real Progressives. Hoping you guys stay focused and stay committed. I'll talk to you later. Have a good night. Bye.